At Morning Shot, we are facing a grave problem. We are trying to tell stories of South Africans fighting the state and winning, but you watching don't seem to care at all.
It's a tough one, Ramon. I mean, here's the problem, right? I mean, we cover stories obviously in South Africa every day, and the stories quite often are depressing. We know it as well as you do, right? I mean, it's like the state is falling apart, the government's unable to actually do anything effectively. We're run by basically stupid people. We know this, it's a fact. But, that means that the state really is full of shit, right? And we should all run away. Well, wrong. What it actually means is that the state is doing what every other state around the world is doing. But there are pockets of goodness in the state, and we try to convey that. In fact, in the audience, in the comment section, mate, they tell us, why don't you ever say anything positive? Why don't you say nice things about the country? Tell us the good news. The fireman who saved the cat out the tree. But when we do, oh, mate, people aren't prepared for it, and they're not happy.
They're really not. So only yesterday we released a video saying this private group of doctors are using private investment to fund one of the best hospitals the world will ever see. And they're doing it right here in Johannesburg. How did that video do? One of the worst performing videos we've ever done. In fact, we actually lost subscribers when we released that video. Here is the quintessential good news story for South Africa. People don't watch it. We don't make any money on it. And we lose subscribers. I just don't understand what's going on here. People want good news so that they can stay here. But when we tell them the good news, they don't want to watch the good news.
No, and it's amazing because when we try to sit there and we tell everybody around what's happening in the rest of the world, we're frequently told we haven't got a clue, right? I mean, we're just two country bumpkins living in the arse end of South Africa. And what do we know about London? I mean, I lived there for 22 years. I mean, I suppose I know nothing about it. But it's interesting when you turn around and you tell people, like, I think a comment you made in the video was, well, the UK is being overrun by the third world. I can see you've been taken to task for that, mate. But as a fact, it is. It is being overrun by the third world. I mean, there's like 1,000 new immigrants to the UK every single day. There's marches going up and down all the major cities of Albanians and people from Pakistan and India, all waving their own flag. And then there's the British told to shut up and just get on with it. But for some reason, when you describe that to people, you always get the whataboutism. There's never any kind of real concreteness. It's kind of like that whataboutism means you and I clearly don't know what we're talking about. We're clearly full of shit. And when we go, guys, things aren't really that bad, are they? Then it's like, no, they are. And you two are just like idiots.
Yeah, like we don't know who we shills for at the end of the day. Are we shills for South Africa? Are we shills for a particular party in South Africa? Are we shills for America or Russia or China? I mean, the irony is we shills for no one. We are completely independent. You would have noticed watching this channel, we don't have any advertisers. We make no money from this. We do this because we like it, and we do it because you, the audience, likes it as well. But it would be nice if the good news stories we tell you about the people of South Africa who are building trenches, who are building wonderful things without the state, it would be nice if people watch those. It would be nice if people had the same mindset as those trench builders. As soon as we do a video about Julius Malema being an utter moron, everyone will watch it. But that doesn't make us happy. We want people to stay here and build. So the stories about building should be far more important than whatever some moron politician says.
There's this weird thing that happens in South Africa, Ramon. I mean, as you know, a lot of people came here, their forefathers came here, basically because they fell in love with the land. And Rory Duncan, he made a statement, and I think it's really a good one, worth repeating. He said, basically, if you live in a city and your folks own a farm or they live in South Africa on a plot, go back to your roots, farm on your plot, and learn your trade back on the land. The problem is, Ramon, like a lot of people in South Africa, and I'm starting to see this quite a bit, like a lot of people sit there in the suburbs, right? And they have no real kind of feeling about the place where they live. They live in a suburb in a house. They make the house very nice. They sit there. They populate it with, full of cheap shit from Decofurn or wherever else. And then the house becomes their safe haven, right? But the problem is that the house is transferable. You can pack your house up. You can go somewhere else. If the house is packed up and you take it to Perth or you take it to London or you take it to America, it makes no difference. It's still a house. The house goes everywhere you do. Very few people have an actual connection to the land and the people in the land, because they have no familiarity with it. They sit in very small little bubbles. They sit in isolated pods. They sit in houses. We live in a country where the outdoors is a thing. We should be enjoying it. Go hunting, go farming, go to the beach, go running, go do whatever you want, mountain climbing, camping. People don't do it anymore. They sit in the pod. They sit in the isolated little container somewhere that they themselves have isolated themselves to. And then they just sit there and basically moan. But it's like they become addicted to moaning. It's because they have no connection to anything else. They have no connection to life. It's like if they can't just sit there with an addiction to moaning, then when somebody comes there with an antidote and says, oh, it's actually, there are some good things going on. It's like, no, how dare you? How dare you? It's almost like you denied them their daily crack, mate.
I like that analogy in terms of like the sort of the sense of hopelessness is almost addictive, right? I think people like to become victims. That's why farm murders are a big thing. Now, farm murders are real. Kill the boer is terrible, and we don't want farmers to be murdered. Don't get me wrong on that. But you do see a lot of accounts, especially American accounts, who are propping up this narrative of farm murders are a problem in South Africa, and they are a problem in South Africa. But that's the only thing South Africa is being known for. South Africa is only being known for being a shithole country. And you know what? We're not a shithole country. We are just not a shithole country. We're not a shithole citizenry. We're not a shithole infrastructure. We're not a shithole country in any meaningful way. And it's time for people to actually understand that and know that it's worth defending, know that it's worth building, know that it's worth staying here and making sure that your people can have prosperous lives, and they really can. Here's a dirty little secret about South Africa. The state is retarded. You are not. Why are the retards winning? It's because they are doing things, whereas you refuse to do anything.
Yeah, we've seen this even in the Tidy Towns initiative, right? Go out there and fix your town. I mean, there are a load of comments on there going, why should we do this? It's a government's job. Like, come on, guys.
Why do we pay rates then?
These are the same people that next week will tell you, oh, the government has too much control and they tell us what to do. Like, for real? You just sit there and told them they should do everything. And then when we told you to do it yourself, you're like, no, I'm not doing that. It's the same people that go and they turn around and tell you SAPS is useless, but then moan at you when you tell them to get a firearm. Like, I don't know, man. It's... Ik weet nie.
There's just this addiction to moaning and hopelessness and pathetic victimhood in this country, and we should be much better than that. You watching this video, you deserve better. And that changes with your mindset. That changes with actions. That changes with getting to know your neighbors and fixing the damn pothole outside your house rather than spend endlessly getting a reference number for the municipality. Once your mindset changes, once you have actions linked to that mindset, South Africa is a wonderful place. That's what I do. That's what Byron does. That's what our friendship circle does. And you should do it too.
This is our country. You're born here. You have a birthright to be here. I have a birthright to be here. This is our land. No one can take this land from us, apart from ourselves. Why the hell would you give away your birthright? That seems stupid. So yeah, life in South Africa sometimes can be really, really disheartening. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes there are actually good news stories out there. If you look, and when they are there, celebrate the victories, cry at the losses. But at the end of the day, this is our country, and we love our country.